The trickle was now turning into a stream. More G's, dozens now, thick among the burning cars. Funny thing about Zach, you always think he's going to be dressed in his Sunday best. That's how the media portrayed them, right? Especially in the beginning. G's in business suits and dresses, like a cross-section of everyday America, only dead. That's not what they look like at all. Most infected, the early infected, the ones who went in that first wave, they either died under treatment or at home in their own beds. Most were either in hospital gowns or pajamas and nightshirts. Some were in sweats or their undies or just naked, a lot of them completely buck bare. You could see their wounds, the dried marks on their body, the gouges that made you shiver even inside that sweltering gear. The second steel rain didn't have half the impact of the first. No more gas tanks to catch, and now the more tightly packed G's just happened to be shielding each other from a possible head wound. I wasn't scared, not yet. Maybe my wood was gone, but I was pretty sure it'd be back when Zach entered the Artie's kill zone. Again, I couldn't hear the Paladins too far back up the hill, but I sure heard and saw their shells land. These were standard HE-155s, a high-explosive core with a fragmentation case. They did even less damage than the MLRs.
Why is that?
No balloon effect, for one. When a bomb goes off close to you, it causes the liquid in your body to burst, literally like a freaking balloon. That doesn't happen with Zach, maybe because he carries less bodily fluid than us, or because that fluid's more like a gel, I don't know. But it didn't do shit, neither did the SNT effect.
What's SNT?
Sudden nerve trauma, I think that's what you call it. It's another effect of close-in high explosives. The trauma is so great sometimes that your organs, your brain, all of it just shuts down like God flicking your light switch. Something to do with electrical impulses or whatnot. I don't know. I'm not a fucking doctor.
But that didn't happen.
Not once. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like Zach just skipped through the barrage unscathed. We saw bodies blown to shit, tossed into the air, ripped to pieces, even complete heads, live heads with eyes and jaws still moving, popping sky high like freaking crystal corks. We were taking them down, no doubt, but not as many or as fast as we needed to. The stream was now like a river, a flood of bodies, slouching, moaning, stepping over their mangled bros as they rolled slowly and steadily toward us like a slow-motion wave. The next kill zone was direct fire from the heavy arms, the tank's main 120s and Bradleys with their chain guns and FOTT missiles. The Humvees also began to open up, mortars and missiles and the Mark 19, which are like machine guns but firing grenades. The Comanches came whining in at what felt like inches above our heads with chains and hellfires and hydro-rocket pods. It was a fucking meat grinder, a wood chipper, organic matter clouding like sawdust above the horde. Nothing can survive this, I was thinking, and for a little while it looked like I was right, until the fire started to die.
Started to die?
Petering out, withering. No one thought about it. No one. Don't pull my pud with stories about budget cuts and supply problems. The only thing in short supply was common fucking sense. Not one of those West Point War College metal-up-the-ass 4-star fart bags said, hey, we got plenty of fancy weapons. We got enough shit for them to shoot. No one thought about how many rounds the artillery would need for sustained operation, how many rockets for the MLRs, how many canister shots. The tanks had these things called canister shots. Basically a giant shotgun shell. They fire these little tungsten balls. Not perfect, you know, wasting like 100 balls for every G, but fuck, dude, at least it was something. Each Abrams only had three out of a total loadout of 40. The rest were standard heat or sabot. Do you know what a silver bullet, an armor-piercing, depleted uranium dart is going to do to a group of walking corpses? Nothing. Do you know what it feels like to see a 60-something-ton tank fire into a crowd with absolutely ass-all result? 3 canister rounds. What about the flechettes? That's the weapon we always hear about these days, flechettes, these little steel spikes that turn any weapon into an instant scattergun. We talk about them like they're a new invention, but we had them as far back as, like, Korea. We had them for the hydro rockets and the Mark 19s. Just imagine that. Just one 19 firing 350 rounds a minute, each round holding like 100 spikes. Maybe it wouldn't have turned the tide, but god damn it. The fire was dying, Zach was still coming, and the fear. Everyone was feeling it, in the orders from the squad leaders, in the actions of the men around me. That little voice in the back of your head that keeps squeaking, "Oh shit, oh shit." We were the last line of defense, the afterthought when it came to firepower. We were supposed to pick off the random lucky G who happened to slip through the giant bitch slap of our heavier stuff. Maybe 1 in 3 of us was expected to fire his weapon. 1 in every 10 was expected to score a kill. They came by the thousands, spilling out over the freeway guardrails, down the side streets, around the houses, through them. So many of them, their moans so loud they echoed right through our hoods. We flipped our safeties off, sighted our targets. The order came to fire. I was a saw gunner, a light machine gun that you're supposed to fire in short, controlled bursts about as long as it takes to say, "Die, motherfucker, die." The initial burst was too low. I caught one square in the chest. I watched him fly backward, hit the asphalt, then get right back up again as if nothing happened. Dude, when they get back up... I did my best to control my fire and my sphincter. Just go for the head, I kept telling myself. Keep it together, just go for the head. And all the time my saw's chattering, "Die, motherfucker, die." We could have stopped them. We should have. One guy with a rifle, that's all you need, right? Professional soldiers, trained marksmen. How could they get through? They still ask that. Critics and armchair patents who weren't there. You think it's that simple? You think after being trained to aim for the center match your whole military career, you can suddenly make an expert headshot every time? You think in that straitjacket and suffocation hood it's easy to recharge a clip or clear a weapon jam? You think after watching all the wonders of modern warfare fall flat on their high-tech hyper-ass, that after already living through 3 months of the Great Panic and watching everything you knew as reality be eaten alive by an enemy that wasn't even supposed to exist, that you're gonna keep a cool fucking head and a steady fucking trigger finger?
Wainio stabs that finger at me.
Well, we did. We still managed to do our job and make Zach pay for every fucking inch. Maybe if we'd had more men, more ammo, maybe if we'd just been allowed to focus on our job.
His finger curls back into his fist.